the viewing audience on Metro 3, also the ones in gallery, and council members present. This is council announcement time. Gives the opportunity for the council members to make their announcements of issues going on in their district. Before we get started, I would like to make, Vice Mayor Bradley would like to announce of the, there is a presentation by Open Table Nashville. It's in Committee Room 1. It begins at 6 o'clock, so if you have the opportunity, if you have no announcements, please go. As we begin, Council Lady Weiner, you'd like to be recognized?
Thank you, Pro Tem. I appreciate it. Anyone from the Jewish Caucus would like to come back and share the excitement of Hanukkah with us? This is the proclamation that recognizes this year's Hanukkah 2016. If you were in here or outside earlier, you would have been with us at the 13th mayoral menorah lighting. And so to that end, we wanted to acknowledge the excitement and the exposure of Hanukkah in 2016 here in Nashville. And I will read the proclamation that will be presented to Mark Friedman from the Jewish Federation and Rabbi Yitzhak Teitel of the Chabad of Nashville. Whereas religious diversity and freedom to exercise religion are an important part of Tennessee's and the city of Nashville and Davidson County's history, and whereas the festival of Hanukkah is being celebrated throughout the world on December 24th until December 31st to commemorate the victory in ancient Israel of a small, greatly outnumbered army that prevailed against the forces of religious persecution. And whereas a great miracle followed this victory when a jar of oil meant to last for only a single day kept the menorah lit for 8 days, bringing joy to all who had fought for the right to teach and worship freely. Whereas this miracle of light is preserved by the Jewish community everywhere through the lighting of the menorah, symbolizing the ideals of religious freedom and offering a beacon of hope to all those who are still subjected to spiritual oppression. And whereas the Jewish community of Nashville and Davidson County shares the joy of light with all of the citizens of Nashville and Davidson County by lighting a large menorah on the public square placed there by Chabad of Nashville and with the participation of Nashville's local Jewish congregations, the Jewish Federation of Nashville and Middle Tennessee, the Gordon Jewish Community Center, and the Akiva School. And whereas, during Hanukkah, we wish our Jewish residents goodwill and happiness in the year ahead. Now, therefore, we, the signatories hereunder, being members of the Council of the Metro Government of Nashville and Davidson County, do hereby recognize December 24th till the 31st as a week of Hanukkah light and urge all citizens of Nashville and Davidson County to take cognizance of this event and create spiritual light by doing deeds of goodness and kindness to make our society a much brighter place. And I just will share that we have all of the members of the Metro Council that signed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our Jewish Caucus.
Everybody. Okay, I'll take that back.
Councilman Glover.
Thank you, Pro Tem. We're going to hold a meeting. It's going to be a joint meeting with Councilmember Syracuse, Councilmember Roden, Councilmember Hager, and we also believe Council Lady Holly Hozo that will be there on January the 12th at the Hermitage Police Precinct, beginning at about 6:20 to talk about the property reassessment that's coming next year to help folks start to kind of get educated on what it's going to mean, for property taxes, what it's not going to mean for property taxes, and those types of things. But from 6 until about 6:20, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Hermitage Flats apartment complex that's going to be coming into the Hermitage area on Old Hickory Boulevard. A lot of misconception about what's going on with affordable housing, and so we want to take a kind of an educational period to talk about that from 6 to 6:20, kind of educate folks on what that means, and then starting at 6:20, the assessor's office will start talking about the reassessment process, what's gone on, what it's going to mean for all of the districts out in the Hermitage, Donaldson, Old Hickory area. So we hope you will join us at the Hermitage Precinct. Again, January the 12th, that's Thursday from 6 to 6:20 on the Hermitage Flats Affordable affordable housing apartment complex, and then starting at 620, the reassessment for property tax reassessment for Donaldson, Hermitage, and Old Hickory. Well, for all of Nashville, but specifically talking about Donaldson, Hermitage, and Old Hickory. Thank you, Pro Tem.
Thank you, Councilman Glover. Councilman O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wanted to make sure that everyone knew about Music City Midnight. The Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation is hosting New Year's Eve in Nashville on the Bicentennial Mall, the Bicentennial Capitol Mall State Park this year, December 31st. It will feature everyone from Keith Urban to the Fisk Jubilee Singers in a free concert. And as well as a part of that event, the Nashville Farmers Market invites you to celebrate at the market on New Year's Eve from 4 p.m. till midnight. The Market House restaurants and shops will be open as part of the New Year's Eve event. And for more information, please contact the Farmers Market at NashvilleFarmersMarket.org. I also wanted to remind everyone that as we have been starting to experience some precipitously cold weather, Nashville does have a cold weather community response plan. I know, Mr. Speaker, you invited folks over to committee room number 1 earlier. The cold weather community response plan is in effect from November 1st through March 31st and is targeted at making sure that all Nashvillians, regardless of their status in housing, have access to places to be warm during the winter. So you can find out more at coldweathernashville.com, including ways that you can help. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connell. Council Lady Van Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Pridemore. I wanted to briefly indicate that we are having a community meeting on January the 7th. That's the first Saturday right after the New Year, so I want to make sure people got on their calendar. It's a community meeting for a proposed community plan amendment for properties along Broadmoor, Ben Allen, Hart Lane, that's adjacent the west side, if you will, of Ellington Parkway. The Metro Planning Department is hosting this community meeting to discuss adding a special policy to the East Nashville Community Plan. Will allow for trail-oriented development within a defined area, a development that focuses on creation and connections to a pedestrian and bikeway network using a combination of sidewalks, greenways, multi-use paths, bikeways, and primitive hiking trails. In addition to residential development, mixed use in prime locations, and better connectivity to nearby schools and parks. Again, that community meeting to discuss this plan and the amendment applying the special policy will be held on Saturday, January the 7th, beginning at 10 a.m. at Studio 615, located at 272 Broadmoor. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Council Lady Van Reese. Council Lady Johnson.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Pridemore. District 29, I am still working on getting the meeting scheduled with Metro Water, Metro Public Works, and our planning folks. The Metro Council staff is working to get that meeting scheduled. Unfortunately, there are staff members that are out for the holiday for this week and next week, so it will be at the beginning of the new year, and that information will be emailed out to everyone who has had concerns about the development by Mark Marshall in the Moss Springs area. Also, I am sharing for Councilwoman Brenda Haywood, who is out of town. She wants everyone in her district, District 3, to know that you're invited to the holiday celebration at Fontanelle. This is Thursday, December 29th, from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And again, that's the holiday celebration, Thursday, December 29th, from 6 to 8:30 at Fontanelle, 4125 Whites Creek Pike. And if you need more information, you can email her at brenda.haywood@nashville.gov, or you can call 615-473-8339, and there will be food and entertainment. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Lady Johnson. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to make an announcement about, I want to thank Madison 50 Forward for hosting the fundraiser last night for the Hernandez family, the one with the the tragic death of 2 children and the father that occurred earlier this month. They hosted a fundraiser with the band called What? And so you can see there was a lot of questions of what? But it was a great night, good band, good music, and most of all, it was a great cause. So I want to thank the band What and Madison 50 Forward for supporting that. Seeing no other council members, I think they're all in the open table committee meeting. So this will conclude the Metro Council announcements. Thank you.